Welcome once again to our video lecture series. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about reality therapy and also feminism. We'll start off with reality therapy. Reality therapy is a continuation of cognitive behavioral therapy. It's an approach that's a little bit more specific. Personally, I don't think that there's too much to it that makes it stand out, but it is worth reviewing, and it's kind of almost like a conglomerate, a combination of some of our other theories. A lot of the key points we're taking from the Gestalt, obviously from cognitive behavioral approach, the behavioral approach, and it's a little bit of a combination, like I said, of some of the recent theories that we've been discussing, and it makes it a little bit more specific. So once again, reality theory was developed by William Glasser, who's still alive today, I believe. I know he was born in the 20s. And like many theorists before him, he rejected the Freudian model. He said that people were responsible for their behaviors. He was a psychiatrist at a girls' school, a prison, and a school, so he came from a plethora of backgrounds and knowledge. He would say that he would talk to the clients' sane parts versus their insane parts. So he would try to recognize within his clients areas where they were aware and had a little bit of insight, as opposed to the parts of their personalities that were presenting some problems. And he would talk to the parts of the person and the personality that were well developed, and he felt like he could make a breakthrough through channels that people already understood about themselves. He created what we call choice theory, which we're going to talk about a little bit, and much like some of the other theories that we talked about in the past, he said that all that we can control is in the present. One of the major things that he kind of emphasized was these 5 genetic needs that he said that all human beings had. These genetic needs helped push our motivation, helped drive us. He said these were the things that we kind of live for and that we act upon and that we behave for, so that we're trying to accomplish these type of things. So number 1 of the 5 genetic needs is survival. Seems pretty obvious. You know, you back someone into a corner, they're going to do whatever they have to do to survive. We're always looking out for our survival. We're always looking for shelter. We're always looking for food so that we can live. He said that the second genetic need was love, that this was one of the primary needs, but also sometimes one of the hardest needs to fulfill. We can all think about what kind of different forms of love there are. There's parental love, there's romantic love, there's some sort of platonic friendship love. He said that this is needed, that this is one of the driving motivational factors in our life, that we need to fulfill this within ourselves. Another thing that we're trying to achieve within our lifetime is power and achievement. We want to receive power. We want to feel powerful. We want to feel like we've achieved something, that we've done something, that our hard work has earned something. Many people aren't satisfied unless they feel like they've contributed in some manner. And also, by contributing, get the power and respect that they deserve. So once again, power and respect might be a motivational factor in terms of what individuals need. Excuse me for a moment. As for the interruption, I had a phone call. It's important. Continuing on in regards to these 5 genetic needs, once again, survival is one of those needs. Love is one of those needs. Power and achievement is one of those needs. The 4th need is the need for freedom. The need, I guess this is where it kind of coins in with existentialism, is the need for you as an individual to build and find a unique life for yourself. One where you feel like you can choose, where destiny is in your hands, where you have the will to power. One where you can express yourself as some sort of individual and feel like you can constantly express yourself. Again, he refers to this as a genetic need, something that needs to be a part of us, and if it is not, then we are dissatisfied or stressed or something along those lines. And the 5th genetic need is the need for fun, the need for some sort of enjoyment, some sort of pleasure, maybe an escape of some sort, something where we can kind of put all these other needs of survival, love, power, and freedom aside and just simply live spontaneously with an open heart, if you will, We've all been in a state of having fun before. We know what it feels like. And he says that that's something that our body and mind need. That is something that we seek out, and that is something that motivates us. And I think that's true all the time. I know that when I look forward to a vacation, it's because I want to have some fun. And that does motivate me. It does help me get through the week knowing that I'll be hopping on a plane somewhere. Again, this reality therapy kind of pays attention to these genetic needs. They try to find which ones are lacking, and they try to address those certain areas. In reality therapy, there's a strong belief that people are unsatisfied with a relationship or a lack of relationship in their lives. Our problems are rooted in some sort of interaction with an individual or a non-interaction with an individual. If I have a problem with my girlfriend, obviously that's a problem. If I don't have a girlfriend, obviously that's a problem. What both these things have in common is the fact that they are relationships. In one case, a problem relationship, in the other case, a non-existent relationship. But there is a lot of emphasis and power given to the idea of relationships, causing us a lot of stress. And in turn, if they're going well, causing us a lot of happiness. He said that a lot of these problems with relationships are from an inability to connect, an inability to get close, or an inability to satisfy the other person's needs. And it is our job to try to get them to connect and to try to get them to establish intimacy and get closer, and also attempt to try to help them connect with another individual. He said that few people understand our problem is the way that we choose to behave. They just know the feeling. We know that it's not working, but it's the way that we choose to behave that's causing these kind of things. So we have kind of people look back on how they're behaving and kind of detach themselves from the emotions attached to it. And kind of, again, I said this is very cognitive behavioral, kind of looking at the behaviors behind things. He said that people behave improperly to deal with the frustration of a relationship that's not going so well. I'll repeat that. People behave improperly to deal with the frustration of a relationship. We've all been in relationships before where something has gone astray or there's been some sort of stress. And it's during those times that we act out in some way. We might raise our voice, or we might look agitated, or we might say things in a certain tone. And these are all behaviors. These are all things that we are kind of showing to the other person that we are frustrated. And in many ways, this behavior that we're showing is not helping our cause. It's just kind of adding fuel to the fire. He said what we really need to do is to talk about that frustration and to kind of, again, reconnect with those troubled relationships. We are trying to take more control of our life. But we have to decide what can you control, because there's certain things that you can control and certain things that you can't. I oftentimes tell my students that, if there's something that you can do about a problem, then do it. These are the things that you can control. Come up with an action plan and do something about it. And if you can't do something about it, you need to learn how to adapt. The situation or the environment is not going to change. You are going to need to change so that you can survive in that setting. Again, and he says that there's no sense in talking about what you can't control. So a lot of times people get stuck. Oh, the economy. Oh, problems with Iran. Oh, whatever it is, that's a major problem. Well, if you can't change it, then move on, because, no offense, but just bitching about it isn't really going to get you anywhere. And they would call you out on that in reality therapy. I think that's part of the deal. Much like Gestalt therapy, there's a focus on the here and the now, in the present moment, right here in the counseling session is what matters. We're not concerned about the past. We're not so much concerned about the whys. We're looking at the here and now on how to create a better life. Reality therapy, much like some of the other therapies, is more designed to kind of teach somebody, to train them, to model for them, and to kind of work with role playing to help them make effective choices. Again, finding those things that you can change, and evaluating which ones would be effective choices for you to help rebuild some of those relationships. Again, this is all based upon finding healthy relationships in your life. And again, there's an emphasis on, don't complain or blame. That you're just kind of wasting your time.